Welcome back to ESL One Katowice. It's the end of day one. We do have one more game to go though in our final series of the day. Chaos Esports find themselves a game up and 3 games up so far in the overall tournament. It's been a fabulous start to the day. It's also been a fabulous start for a brand new coach as well. A man who has just joined Chaos Esports, who was with Shiva earlier on today.
Hello, I am here with T. Governor, the coach of Chaos Esports Club. T. Governor, this is, I've heard your first interview.
Yes, it is, yes. Ooh, sorry, yeah, it's my first interview. First time ever really being at, not an event like this, but more having to talk about what I do at an event like this, so we'll see how this goes.
First international LAN as a coach?
No, so I went to the major with the team, but again, it was very like, behind closed doors, just in the practice room, kind of appeared maybe at the odd shot, but this is the first time I'm actually having like a real chat and really picking my brain, I guess.
All right, so because I'm really curious, because how did you come to be the coach of Chaos?
So just solo queuing really, just playing pubs, and then being that kind of guy just added misery. I was like, we won some pubs together. Like, come on, you know, I'm British. There's no one in Britain. Just give me a go. Why not? And then I went to China. Didn't do as well as we wanted, but you know, there were signs of improvement, and then now I'm here, so hopefully we continue improving and then don't come last at every event, really.
Well, I mean, you seem to be on the right path. How's your team doing at the moment? How have you prepared for this? How do you feel in your confidence level to not come last this event?
It's all about the structure and how we approach every tournament. So originally, it was very much like a casual kind of, you turn up to the event, you play your scrims, you practice, and it's like that. But now it's implementing more kind of, get up at this time, do this, and just turning it more from being like you're the best team in SA and just get like again, the term will be like the free trip to the tournament, and then taking that and actually trying to push it to having results and making the region more respected and not just like a low-seeded laughing stock or something. Because we're not, obviously we're not, we're here, and we're sometimes do well. Just consistency as well, that's the other key thing we need to improve on.
All right, you feel like you got that down for this event? Like you're about to head into your first match, you're going to have 2 series today?
Yeah, I think it's like you have to take each step at a time. So we develop the systems from the major, and then we're going to implement them here. So we would like to see instant results, but again, you can't always expect them to be there. So realistically, I think we can do well in our group, and I think we could do well, but we've got to be realistic. So sure, 4-0 today.
4-0 today. Looking forward to seeing you guys play. Very excited, and of course, good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you. Back to you.
Thanks very much, Shiva, and great to see a British guy involved at the high end of Dota 2 that isn't me, Pyrian Flax, or Ro2 Pixel. Maybe, you know, one other Brit could get to the grand finals. Maybe wishful thinking on our part. It's a good move for him. It's a good move for the team as well, Will.
Yeah, I mean, you just need new ideas, like we said.
Yeah.
I'm sure he has a very unique perspective as well. From what I've gathered, I have played a few pubs with him. He seems like a very easy-keeled guy, just like a very personable dude.
Yep.
The accent
it's
makes
weird
him
though,
seem
I tell you
awesome.
why, because he comes from a group of British players who are a bit toxic. They're a
I mean,
bit,
he seemed like the friendliest guy ever.
But he's the smart kid, because he used to be a bit toxic as well. I'm sure he won't mind me saying that, but he was a bit toxic back in the day. But he managed to kind of push him, like, he realised that if you're going to break out of Britain in Dota, you can't carry on playing like that. You've got to go and do something better.
How do you know he's toxic? I'm sure you've never been in a pub with him before.
No, but he told me.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're just going to believe him?
Well,
what if he's a liar and not toxic? About that?
Why would he make that up?
I don't know.
I'm toxic,
sources,
but now
dude.
I'm not. It's a redemption story, maybe. I don't know. But he's a genuinely nice guy, and I wish him well. It's a tough gig, though, Will. This isn't for the faint-hearted, is it?
No, it's not. And
yeah, people look at it and they go, oh, coaching, that's easy. It's not easy.
No, because you bear a brunt of the responsibility, and more importantly, like, you feel really personally responsible. Like, when your team isn't doing well, like, once the game starts, it's all out of your hands. You have to kind of be even-keeled. Like, even if you lose, you have to be like, okay, you have to be the one to regroup.
Right. But I've seen you watch games, and it puts you through the ringer.
Oh, I get stressed.
It seems worse when you're not a player.
I remember what it was like in Zephyr sometimes too, because like I'd be like looking at warding things they do, and there's things we talk about, and it's like watching it's being on Twitch normally. You're watching other people play. You get frustrated when they don't see the things that you see, and you can't do anything about it. You just have to you're along for the ride.
Yeah. And then you have to be the guy that isn't that guy that's upset and angry and frustrated. You have to be that guy that goes in, especially with the role that you had with Liquid, for instance, where you had to go and be the motivator and be the guy that calmed everyone down and kind of push everyone back up again and give them that motivation.
Yeah, well, we said on what I told Alyssa, our manager on DC, I said, even if you're excited or disappointed, whatever. Like, if you're happy that they won, you can't show that you're overly happy.
Right.
Because there's still a series to play. Dota is a best-of-3 game. Being overly excited that they won one game can kind of throw everything off. You want them to go into the next game, regardless of a win or loss, you go in with the same attitude, the same mentality. Like, you're playing best-of-1s, essentially. How do you get that best-of-1 win? Even if, you know, backstage I'm like shaking and I'm like stressed and I'm yelling.
I'm gonna ignore it all.
Yeah, you have to, when you present yourself, you have to say like, okay, what do we do? What did we do wrong? How are we gonna fix this? What did we do right? It's good attitude.
He talked in that interview about consistency as well, Kevin. And we've been talking about this all day, about this particular group of teams, and this is another one of those teams. Both teams, in actual fact, super inconsistent, and Aster probably more up and down than ever. Yeah. If he can nail that with this team, they could be a real force to be reckoned with.
Well, they haven't lost yet. They're 3-0.
Yeah.
So they got to be pretty pumped. I mean, he was like joking around like, oh, 4-0 today. And they're really close.
They're one game away.
I mean, it's two of some of the weaker teams of their group, so it's certainly doable, if not really necessary for them to crush. But he just looked confident. He gave better interviews than 80% of pro players. He's a good spokesman for their team. I think you can get them rallied around some consistency. Yeah. It just helps to have a sixth person that doesn't also have the play requirements, that can just spend. It's like having a sixth brain to spend to work on what normally is only done with 5 brains. Like, it's just extra power.
It's all right. I mean, I'm gonna pair him up with Seb at some point, so that he can kind of learn some coaching tips from Seb, and then understand how he transitions from being a coach into a sub, into the team that then wins TI.
You just gotta wait.
British TI winner.
You gotta ride out until your team just loses for a really long time, gets desperate, and then subs you. And so all he's got to do is like be loyal to the team, and then he'll eventually.
Yeah.
I mean, Misery did the same thing.
I'm convinced. Within the next 2 years, we get a British TI winner.
What if it's Misery that gets kicked? Is like gets stabbed in the back the same way?
Oh,
it's like, I'll coach you, Chaos. Yes.
Oh, that'd be difficult, wouldn't it?
It would be funny. There would be a good thread on
No, that wouldn't be funny.
It'd be the same. Technically, he joined the team as a coach. Somebody got kicked, he gets in. It would be the best.
The reverse.
Catharsis.
Yes. Draft well and truly underway. We've got a Kotl. We don't have an Omni, though, Kevin.
It'll come. When I'm not on the panel.
I love Kotl.
It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
I'm glad they removed the refresher, though. It was like
insane.
too good that... Like, I played games, I tried like Ags and stuff. I was like, I don't want to buy a refresher. It feels a little... But I'm just glad you don't have to go there. It was just too much of an outlier. It forced your item builds to be boring.
I dislike that Ags is like completely out of the picture now.
It's bad. It was not very good.
No.
I'd like really force my team to like, guys, please justify my 4,000 gold. Profit in the first phase is a little bit abnormal. I mean, the hero's definitely been picked, but a lot of times it's felt like a negative, especially if it's an offlane hero. But Misery does know his 5 profit.
I think what they're trying to do, and what Chaos, for me anyways, Misery more than Chaos, what they're known for is Misery likes to try to fool people in the draft. Like, it's the games of misdirection. And it works when your team is as versatile as it is, because you can run that Nature's Prophet. HFN has played it. He's sick on that. Or Archangel, as he was known by back then. He picked that all the time. I remember they picked it at TI like 4 times in a row. He won 3 of those games.
Tavo's played it.
Yeah, Tavo plays
Misery's played it.
Misery's played it. King RD has played it. Everybody but Weehaw I've seen play that hero.
He's probably played it on a pub.
And so when you have this hero that everyone on your team can pretty much play, it makes it so that you're never really sure.
Why? Why are we zooming on his fingernail?
I have no idea. I was wondering that too.
Why?
I was trying to avoid talking about it, Kevin. It was mildly awkward.
You can't just avoid that. They're like, look at his nail. It's slightly chipped on one side. Everyone needs to see this.
Cuticle health, man, it matters.
I guess so. Maybe it interferes with his hotkey pressing. Actually, you know what? If my fingernail was long like that, and that was, what was that, his thumb? You want to shave one side, that way it doesn't scratch on the mouse pad. Maybe it's just plays so much Dota it wears down there.
Mate, it's worn down by the mouse.
Cameraman was, oh, let's see some more fingernails, guys. Oh, this set's pretty good. That's what we're here for.
A clockwork. I think that's the first of the day. I don't recall us having one of those all day. We haven't seen a lone druid all day because they've basically been banned the entire day. Either first or second phase, but one's got through, and it's in the hands of Aster.
The clock's kind of cool. I think I'm kind of a fan. Sven's kind of clunky. He's easy to get kited in fights, basically, and it looks like he's going to be a core.
Yeah, you think this clock is a support?
I think it might be.
And it's a King RD support, isn't it?
What about DP, by the way?
For Chaos?
Yeah, it's nice against Lone Druid, the percentage base, and it's nice against Sven.
It's true. Chaos Esports Club 1.
Chaos Esports Club 1.
They changed their name. They just
Yeah,
keep changing their name.
it's more Portuguese Brazilian now.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Death Prophet, though, is a good hero. I don't know if it will fit in the type of lineup that they want to have, but I feel like...
It's in a little vulnerable mid, though, because with Earthspirit ganks.
It's okay, though, because Earthspirit like, relies on getting in real close, and you can, for the most part, get your Spirit Siphon off on 2.
Yeah, but, like, she doesn't have... I mean, her armor is a little bit weak early on. I feel like you're vulnerable. Maybe... I mean, if it ends up being, like, Lone Druid mid or something, maybe it's not a big deal, but... It just feels a little scary to me. But I definitely agree, like, later in the game, it's really effective.
I don't think she cares about the blind either.
That's true.
I don't know. I feel like there's not a lot of burst damage right now on the side of Aster. Like, these, like, long fights, even the type of damage that, like, Earthspirit puts out, she doesn't really care about.
What about for the fact that people have generally gone bearless builds? Has that impacted at all?
Timber Clock.
Because then you can just be disabled from range, and it doesn't matter that much if you kill the bear. That's you're damn right, Sap. Omni, I get it out of here. Too dangerous to show.
I like that Timber pick though. It fulfills a similar function. Like, I think you just pick some hero that can run in. That's why I was a fan of the DP, because I feel like she's also a tower hitter, and it goes more in line with what Chaos Sports Club wants to do. But Weehaw's a really good Timbersaw player. Remember that game in Dream League that they played against? What was it, Liquid?
I mean, he's had many very good games on that Timbersaw.
Even dating back to like Shanghai Major.
I remember his TI6 ones where his skill build was like atrocious. He like 1 minute he was like 114 or something like that.
You don't like it?
No, I just remember there was one game where he choked on his skill build. That's all.
I see.
He's very good Timber, but there was like one game where he was probably like, yeah, I can play that hero, and then he just got the skill build wrong and they lost it. I just remember I remember being frustrated about it. I just thought I'd bring that up. He's a good player.
He's had one bad Timber game in his entire career.
One shit game 2 years ago. Bring it up.
But it's what Kevin remembers him by most.
Yes. Banning out SF on Aster's side.
Huh.
Kind of interesting. I feel like Aster's pretty limited in terms of single target damage right now outside of Sven. And I just feel like Sven's controllable between... I mean, everyone knows that Sprout hard counters Sven. It's a well-known thing. And Timbersaw as well is semi-effective there.
There's a ton of HFN heroes here that they can choose from. That he plays a lot of in the last month, like TB, for instance. The Deucer, PA.
I don't know if I'd want to... Yeah, PA's okay. You could, PA. It's not terrible.
There's also a Luna in there as well.
I don't know, I'm just comfortable with him playing any hero because that guy's so good.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a lot in there. There's also the Slark.
A Slark?
I guess.
Slark pretty good against Lone Druid. Just get on Lone Druid. If he goes bear form, he's going to have some trouble. Or if he goes range Lone Druid, he has trouble. You can dispel things like Blind. Earthspirit can silence him, but it should be okay. I mean, he's going to lane probably against, what, Earthspirit Sven or something?
Yeah.
Actually.
Aster looking a little bit by that.
I mean, we're not seeing Slark much at all right now, right? Like it's definitely a rare pick.
What do they round this draft out with? What do they need?
I mean, either they're hard carry or they put Sven as hard carry, but I don't think I like Sven hard carry against Slark. So they need either they need a hero that matches up okay against Slark if they don't think Sven can pressure it enough, or they need a new hard carry or a new offlane.
They've got some lockdown.
What are good Slark picks here, Will? What do you think? Or Slark
do you think they need to counter that Slark?
Yeah, you could do like Doom and then have Sven lane against the NP.
I like that, because Doom would be good against Timber too, right?
Yeah. And then you could just have, because I'm not like the biggest fan of Sven 1, but I don't hate it when I'm against Nature's Prophet. Like, it makes a lot more sense in that regard.
That's true.
Because the Cleave, you just don't care about the harass and the trees either.
Cleave did get nerfed early on, but still, yeah, you're right.
Oh, they take Pugna?
Pugna instead. Just general blast stuff. You can decrep people that Slark goes on. Doesn't really hurt you against Timber that much, actually, because he does pure damage. So it's kind of cool. Netherward looks to be really effective, too, against a lot of chaos.
I tell you what, I also noticed during that draft of Mushi, he was quite active. chatting around with them, not just at the end of the draft, but through the draft. I don't know whether that...
confident from his 6-0-3 Shadow Fiend before they started losing.
He tried his best.
He really did. It was a really good performance.
Okay, gents. What do you expect coming from this particular matchup in the way that they've both picked?
I mean, they're kind of weird heroes matching up. I'm excited to see how the Pugna fits in. I feel like he can do a lot this game if he doesn't get disabled. Yeah, but I'm not really sure. Okay. It's like weird heroes, weird lanes.
It is a little bit weird, isn't it, Will?
I think Aster will pick up their first win.
Really?
I think they can do it.
Okay.
I do like that Pugna pick.
Bold. I like it. I like a bit of bold on this program. Aster to pick up their first game of ESL One Katowice, or can Chaos continue to bring the chaos and move to 4-0? Let's find out as we heard from our commentators. Gents, another kind of interesting draft. Not sure what kind of match we're going to get out of this one.
I like the Pugna. I think they needed some type of like magic damage and high damage hero, because otherwise I was like, oh my god, they can't kill Weehaw ever, and he's just going to be running around as a distraction while Slark free farm. So I think it was a pretty good solution.
Yeah, and it's going to be exciting again to see Weehaw potentially have another bit of a show. The Timbersaw pick looking pretty strong this game.
Yeah. All right. Well, enjoy. Bring us your best, boys.
Thank you very much, Red. And it's going to be an interesting one, because I'm sort of looking at this draft and seeing Weehaw Timbersaw, that's hot. And then an HFN really Slark, that's a bit of a, hang on, a Slark. Nobody plays this hero at the moment. This hero, it seemed like this hero was initially obviously nerfed with sort of the pounce damage taken away. That people were like, hang on, the hero is still good. Then everybody sort of stopped playing it. But HFN, he's attempted to bring it back. It is one of his finest back in the day. This is the hero that you'd be very scared if HFN got his hands on.
Yeah, I think also they're... he's looking to get this these Essence shifts, of course, off the strength hero, and they saw Aster playing the Sven in the offlane, right? They saw it played in earlier today, and I think we've seen it either played support or offlane. We don't really see carry Sven that often, so he can steal a lot of stats. And I also, like I was mentioning, I felt like when I saw the Slark pick and I see the heroes that Aster had, they had nothing to deal with Weehaw, so he can put so much pressure on the map, and then the Slark can just have his own game playing by himself. So that's I think what I assume was their mentality, but maybe not.
Let's have a look. And at least sort of on a plus for Aster this time round. Mushi on the Pugna. No, there's no doubt about it. This hero, it's a good hero. SF sort of question marks around this hero. Is it sort of this incredible pick? Pugna, very much a relevant hero that can take over the game.
And Baboka Earth Spirit. We can't, even though they've had a bit of a rough patch and everything, this is his hero, right? Baboka on the Earth Spirit was where he got the legendary status. Of course, the Bricky and the Monkey King too, but they got nerfed heavily. But yeah, this was one of the big heroes for him. So we'll see how active he can be, because I think Mushi and Baboka both have to have some pretty good games to actually make sure that this Timber doesn't go completely out of control. Because the other three heroes, they don't like playing versus Timbersaw. They don't do anything to him.
No, not at all. We are definitely having the potential of this game to become borderline unkillable. We'll see if he gets there and see if Aster do have an idea or ways to attempt to deal with the Timbersaw, which on paper just looks to be a very strong pick this game.
Yeah, but that's the Pugna, right? That's huge magic damage. So let's go.
That's what we've got to see things really go Aster's way.
We saw Chaos. They identified the lanes. They realized it's an aggro, so they don't want their Slark to be playing into a Coddle aggressive lane. That sounds pretty bad. So sending him up toward top, and then he's going to be sacking Tavo. He's Clockwork, so he can at least cog the waves and do some type of shenanigans to get some last hits.
Yeah, let's see what he can do. I mean, Clockwork's out, because that's a hero we're not seeing a lot of people touch upon, really. No, it's not a hero who seals, especially sort of in the core position. So we'll see what Tavo is able to do. Did have quite a big impact last game on the Brew. We'll see what he can do, the Clock, this time round, as King RD has been found out. Fenrir and Baboka were waiting for him to take the walk down towards the bottom lane. They'll cut off his path and cut off his life. That's first blood for Aster.
And Tavo, he did get the rocket level 1. I saw he used the chat wheel, and it said, tell me someone saw that? He did get the last hit with the first rocket. Just gotta give him a little bit of
give him a bit of credit for that one.
Yeah. So level 1, he can get lots of CS actually. 35 mana, that was the change that happened, of course.
Oh yeah, it's much easier to spam for the range and stuff.
You always will have mana to be able to throw out those rocket flares.
Oh, what's he throwing across here? Just seeing what sort of vision who we can see sort of hiding around in the trees. Mid lane, obviously, early levels, Mushi playing very aggressively, keeping Weehaw low. It's going to force out the salve on the Timber already with the sort of constant harassment Mushi is putting in on this mid lane. 8 for 3 against the 4 for 0. But is this sort of expected at early levels, the Pugna does well, or is it sort of all levels? Is this a lane where we're just going to see Mushi be ahead?
Yep, Mushi's just going to be ahead. Weehaw, once I think he's 3, right? He did get 3 yet? So once you have 2 in reactive, now you can farm. But Pugna will win that matchup. And you can put pressure. The thing is that you can even threaten kills at 6 as a Pugna. And you'll get more denies every single time because you can just use your decrep, and he has to rely on using Whirling Death to get last hits. Then makes it a little bit more complicated. Mushi also was, for his team, the star of the last game.
Yeah, it was a solid performance in that mid lane, and yeah, this time around he's got the hero matchup favoring him as well, which he. Yeah. I guess he obviously had the backup at the start of the lane in game 1. Which did allow him to have that slight edge. His bottom lane, Tavo, falling pretty low. We'll be able to get the rocket. Thunder Strike down to XXS, but they won't quite fall top lane. Misery being turned upon, and Baboka slows him down with the rock and claims a kill up top. HFN does pounce forward onto Baboka, but there is not the damage to take down the Earth Spirit, so Baboka will survive. Aster getting their second kill on the board, and already 2 minutes in, it's looking much more hotter for them. Tavo getting clipped by the horses. Not enough to kill him, but enough to keep him pressured behind that tower. Has to be careful. Only down to 1 shared tango on the clockwork, so Tavo's going to take quite a bit of time to regen. Top lane HFN pounces back in time to get him back to safety.
Tavo just blind dodged the blast in the trees.
Oh, again in the second one.
He lived. He had like 90 HP and it just missed him. He would have died absolutely from the blast.
I guess at least he does have the 3 mangoes, so that's going to be a bit of passive regen that's going to help him sort of stick around.
Yeah.
And as we say, he can sit back, pop out the rocket flare to get CS.
He's getting more last hits than Sylar.
Yeah.
Right. The lone druid up top, he's only got 7. Slash 12 and 8. 8 denies on HFN, doing a fantastic job versus him, with the help, of course, from Misery on that Nature's Prophet. But yeah, pretty damn significant, that difference. It's only 7 last hits, and that's with the bear. So.
And with Baboka sitting by his side.
Yeah,
not like he's been entirely left alone. He has had the Earth Spirit in this lane.
A little bit, yeah. Baboka's been moving good.
Yeah. Bottom lane, actually, they see an opportunity to find Fairbrand. TP in from Misery, that's going to land them the kill on Chaos. Baboka tried to roll forward. They'll turn towards Misery, see if they can run this down. XXS and Baboka should have the damage to do so. Misery trying to deny to neutrals. Is he going to be able to do so? The stun does hit them all, but Misery will still fall. XXS not messing about there as he'll throw out the Stormhammer to secure that kill.
I was about to say, if that stun just secures the neutrals to deny him, that would have been pretty clutch. Tavo ditched him really early.
He did, he was out.
He still had battery assault active too, and he just ran away to the creep wave. That was a little weird. Must have been like them just saying, I'll die, whatever. Like Misery probably just made the call, because it looked a little weird the way Tavo backed away. HFN continuing to get all these denies up top though.
Mid lane, even though Wihara is having the tougher time, it's not too far behind the Farmer Mushi. 28 for 5 gets to 20 for 2. I guess this is sort of the difference you'd expect.
It's once the levels really start to get there. As Mushi's nearly level 6, Weeha just hit 5. He has a bit of creeps, of course, still here, but when Mushi's 6, Weeha has to be incredibly careful. That's why he went for the 1 point in that Timber Chain, of course, so you can try to escape. Once you do expect that level.
We'll see HFN up top lane build, of course, going for the old Midas on the Slark. And we'll see where he does go after that. He's got a bit of a collection of items queued up. Shadow Amulets, Blink Daggers. I feel like the one we have seen the Slark, one of the popular ones has been the Midas into Blink.
Yeah. That's when he was first starting really getting really popular.
People were saying, hey, we can still play this hero.
It went back to it did like a full swing. It was originally Blink, and then it went to Shadow Blade, and then we went full circle. Rune control, it's actually been Chaos has been paying a lot of attention to those runes because they saw that Mushi had a bottle. So I actually saw the Disruptor go bottom, I believe, and kill it. I want to say, yeah. And then I think Weeha grabbed the one before that. So they've been doing a good job of making sure that they can keep the.
Here we go mid.
The
They're going to try and have a go onto Weeha here. Bit of a. I think a misplay there from Mushi as he did decrepify Baboka rather than Weeha, and that's going to be a dead Mushi. The wraparound from Misery and King RD comes into play, and hey, I can only imagine even if he did decrepify the Timber, I don't think he would have killed him anyway. But even
then, he just he
didn't press the rest of the spells.
He didn't press the life terrain. He could have just
because he had all.
They didn't have a disable for
I don't know. Someone check that man's keyboard.
That was a little strange.
Yeah, that was
He pressed it after 5 seconds of him getting hit by a couple extra things in the rotations.
He pressed all the wrong buttons and all the wrong orders. So that's going to be a dead Mushi. He's going to TP back to the lane.
He's still farming really well. Yeah, that's just. Now Timber is actually tied with him in net worth.
That was a very nice rotation to help out Weeha as he picks up the casual cloak, and I say casual, he's going to go straight for the hook first against all this magical. It's going to make it a lot harder to kill. Another attempt, but as you say with the point in Timber Chain, it's hard for these two heroes really to kill him unless Weeha gets too over-aggressive and tries for a play onto Mushi himself.
Which he never really has to.
No, he's playing safe.
It's going to be pushed into him the whole time, and then he can just stand on the creep and get that reactive going for himself. So now immediately, instead of going for mid, Mushi's like, we're going to go top. We have Sylar up top with the Bear. We have a Catapult Wave too, so let's just get this tower instead.
There's obviously not much that HFN as a level 5 Slark can do to slow down any sort of push like this on his own.
But they're going to bring more. They're going to try to slow it down as best as possible.
Sylar, what's that? I believe he's got the Midas out onto him. Sits on the Bear, so Midas good to go.
Even though he wasn't getting the most last hits, 7 minutes, he's got it finished.
Decent timing, bottom lane. TP in for Tavo. He's going to get the cogs down onto XXS. XXS does have the god strength, though. Turning towards Tavo, nearly kills off the clock. He's going to look to try and dive in. He has got the stun up in a second, but the glimpse back from King RD will peel the Sven away from Tavo. Tavo still has to be a little careful that he doesn't get hit by the stun. He's still standing pretty close by. But Aster able to pressure on. Fortification comes out. Same time, Chaos, they're pushing onto the tier 1 tower mid. So despite this was a lane against the Pugna, he's actually doing more damage to tier 1 mid than the Pugna was able to do to his, as his tower still pretty much remains intact. He's nearly taken the tier 1 tower from Mushi. Mushi's going to have something to say about that, though, as he comes into the mid lane. Decrepify attempt is there. Timber Chain keeps Weehar at a distance. Misery and King RD around as well in case Mushi gets too aggressive.
That is the one thing where I thought they'd actually rotate one of the supports, like the Coddle in particular. I thought he'd be there to soak the experience and just to stop the pressure, because if you move mid versus a hero like Timber, DK, a lot of these Death Prophet, whatever you want to, they're going to pressure your tower. They're going to take it away.
Weehar's ready to get aggressive. Pops the Sorin, goes to the Chakram onto Baboka. Thunder Strike's there as well. He is getting sucked off by Mushi, but he's able to keep the distance again with the Timber Chain. Weehar's fine. They won't kill Baboka, but they won't lose the life of the... Ooh, he tries for Baboka, but didn't quite have the cast range with the Chakram.
That would have been sneaky.
Not quite killing the Timber. Space continues to be there on the top lane, though, for Sylar. And we've got to know as well, this Sven, XXS, he's having a very good time this game, too. He's nearly got the Vlad stun at about 9 minutes in, on top of the treads. And as you can see, 56-11, he, like Mushi, is pretty much getting free farm on the bottom lane.
Yeah, I mean, the 3 cores, the Lone Druid was being slowed down top, but he caught up, got a Midas, now he's ahead. So, yeah, the 3 cores having excellent time. The support's a bit more slowed down. But that's great for Aster, because now what happens is when you have a Pugna and you have a little bit of a lead starting, now you take the last tier 1s. You take the last 2 tier 1s, and then your map opens up a lot. You can put pressure on the enemy quite hard, and just keep tabs of where the Slark is the most important thing.
And Ephemeral just have to be a little careful how close he gets. As Weehar definitely has kill potential with the amount of mana that he has. Bottom lane, we're all 4 from Baboka was hunting for Tavo. Tavo keeps the distance. Tavo now level 6 as well, so can look for the hookshot plays, but they'll let this tower go. There's no TPs coming in. Aster able to claim the bottom tier 1 tower. More money for the boys.
Who Tavo is really going to be going on? Of course, like the Sven, you know, right, and the Lone Druid. Lone Druid's probably going to have a Quelling. The Coddle can Blinding Light and push you out of your cogs. The Earth Spirit can kick you out and roll away. So the targets are pretty limited for Tavo.
You're probably just looking to try and mess with Mushi, right?
Yeah, he has to.
You want to get on top of the Pugna. Yeah.
But then it's same thing. He can Blinding Light you out of where the Pugna is. It's not just him saving himself. So I feel like it is going to be a pretty tough game for this Clockwork to have a big impact. Because I think at some point, Aster's just going to group and go. They've got Pugna, they've got Sven with the Vlads, and they've got a Lone Druid. They've got this lineup that can actually just completely snowball down lanes. That's where Nature's Prophet and Slark are probably gonna have to come into play and just get that side, you know, the side pushing coming out to make sure that Aster can't actually group up and go.
Has got an Invis rune. But the burst combo probably not enough to kill Sylar.
Sentry as well.
Oh yeah, they see him.
Hello. Ah, took the creep. Got him.
But which one did? Did Weehar get it or did Tavo get it with the rocket flare?
I think
they were both going for it.
I think Weehar got
it. I think Weehar did, yeah. It came in at a similar time. So, and how are we seeing HFN doing? He's got the treads on top of the Midas. He's also in a pretty happy place at the moment for that top lane Slark. It's just Tavo's farm really that's falling behind. He needs to sort of find some action really to catch back up mid lane. They get the stun off onto the Timbersaw. Static Storm is going to get dropped down, holding back Aster for now. Weehar is actually turning back into it. The Chakram and the Timber Chain, he brings Mushi down very low. Tavo comes in with the TP, has the Battery Assault on top of Mushi. Mushi dies. Baboka rolls back down to join the rest of the team and keep himself away from Weehar. They have got the glimpse dragging Baboka back up towards Weehar. That might actually kill Weehar off. Weehar turning kill neutral. Will be there to deny Baboka. But yeah, Weehar's going to say, oh, watch out with those glimpses, Mr. King RD, because it nearly got him killed there. Bringing the Spirit back to the lane and to keep that Magnetize going. But Weehar will survive, just 2 for 1.
Tavo gets a great actual double cogs on people there, so that's one situation where he can, again, the 2 cogs before Mushi gets the Force Staff, because of course, you know, you're playing Pugna versus a Cosmo, you have to get first item.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and he does. Yeah, just a recipe away is an expensive recipe, so we need a bit of time to finish that one off.
They hold the tower, though. That's pretty significant.
And it's, as you say as well, things happening around the map. Space is there for HFN, and also you have Misery. He's able to put this split push pressure on, and on his own, he's taking the tier 1 tower top. He'll probably die for this, as XXS and Ferro looking for him. Actually, with the TP out, no, he's not dying. You're absolutely right. There's not further control. He gets out of there. So that's the tier 1 tower and a free escape for Misery. He's going to be very happy with that play. They're splitting them up across the map. Aster, despite having the slightly better time at the beginning with the farm of the cores, Chaos was starting to see glimpses of those plays that got them so far ahead in game 1.
And like I was mentioning in the beginning, right, with the Slark pick and the Timber, we see what is HFN doing? Weeha is being this distraction. Yeah. He's making a lot of attention come to him, while HFN's just...
He's just in another game.
He's just jungling, farming himself. 88 last hits at 12 minutes at the Midas.
0-0-0, that's how he likes to see on the KDA.
He wants it.
He wants to be out of the game, playing his own time. That's how sort of the Slark is enabled to hit that point where he is at his strengths.
Yeah, it's still a 2K gold lead for Aster, though. They're still farming quite heavily themselves.
See, HFM wants to find something for his Midas. He'll find himself a nice, tasty hellbound. Oh, maybe he wants something bigger. No, he doesn't. Yeah, he'll take that.
And it is getting that we're like 12 minutes, so Aster, they do have some team fight, some pretty strong team fight with the Will-O-Wisp as well as that Magnetize, which we did see kind of put into play in mid lane. But now they do have it again if they want to go set up for tower. But right now, they're actually not playing in lanes. I see Fenrir is pushing out top, but Sven's jungling, Pugna's jungling,
they're all jungling,
and Earthspirit's just showing mid. So they're not actually pushing their lanes out properly.
And Chaos is in every single lane.
Yeah, they
pushed
like
every single lane out.
This is not the play here for Aster right now. They should definitely be in their lanes a bit more because they're just giving free space right now to
Misery has been found, and this time he's not getting out. But Bokerum with the TP. As himself and XXS will cut him down. Weeha has got a complete pipe, so now it's harder and harder for Aster to make the plays happen. If Weeha's going to be there, he's going to be able to keep his team alive against the magical burst of, say, this Pugna and Spirit in team fights.
Did Misery just TP there? I think he did, right?
He did just TP
to try to put a ward. Yeah, so like even then it's like, all right, you got the like 5 Fury on. But the lanes, look at this, like Weeha's already setting up now bottom, and they still have HFN playing his own game. Now they're starting to react.
Let's see what we got here from Tavo, straight in onto Mushi. The Will-O-Wisp will be popped down. Tavo, he's going to try and keep himself on top of Mushi. The ward dropped. So Tavo has to be a little careful how he does continue, and may have dove a little too deep. We'll see if the team can help him out. Weeha's going to come in and pop the pipe. That will allow Tavo to get the space to get out of there. So nice play from Weeha. Knows that he can afford to go in on the front lines. In fact, he's just going to start hitting the tower right in front of them. He knows with the Magnetize expended, the Will-O-Wisp gone, there's not really much that Aster can do to hold him off. He's straight in with the Chakram on top of Baboka. Baboka will look to kick him away, but Weeha will be quick to grab himself back close with the Timber Chain.
I think that's twice I've seen that happen where he kicks him away and then just gets Timber Chain right back on top of him. Glimpse.
You get a little glimpse onto Mushi. Does have the 4 staff. Weeha, he's out of mana. It's Mango in his backpack, unfortunately, in the Soul Ring, still on cooldown, so won't be able to chase any further. But we're already starting to see that Aster, despite having the lead in farm there, they're not really kitted out to deal with this point again, where Weeha has a pipe of insight. They don't have damage to hold them back and stop these pushes. They're taking towers away from them.
It looks like they were waiting for the first crucial item, Blink Dagger Sven. Second crucial item is going to be that Radiant Stone Druid before they try to actually group together. That seems like it's the big
And it is getting close for Side.
Yeah, because they didn't even, like the Sven didn't even care to show up on him. They showed the other 3 heroes and these 2 just kept jungling. These 2 were like, nope, we know what we need to get. We know what we want to get, at least in this game. But HFN too. He didn't show up. Level 13. He's just it's level 13 Slark.
He's having a great time.
He's actually just farming.
This Slark is going to be scary. He's going for the Ash into Diffusal Blade as well on the Slark. So once the Diffusal's there, he's going to get very aggressive with the rest of the team. Femre getting a hook shot to the face from Tavo behind the tier 2 tower. Nature's Wrath bounces out from Misery, and that's a dead Keeper of the Light. The push continues from Chaos. They know that this is a point where Aster don't seem to want to fight, and they're doing their best to abuse that as much as they can.
Aster's now, they're trying to hunt for HFN. They get the silence, the stun follow-up.
Do they have the damage, though? I don't think they do. Shadow Dance is going to be popped, and now HFN's ready to turn. The TPs have come in. He'll back himself away. Mushi is going to be there, wrapping around from the side. He has got the suck and the blast. Isn't enough to kill him. It's not. The glimpse is there to pull Mushi away from HFN. So HFN can retreat, keep himself out of vision, and get the Shadow Dance Hill pumping back up. They'll look towards an easier target. King RD will be the one to suffer as Aster close the gap on the Disruptor. But they get HFN out of there. Bottom lane, of course, tier 2 towers taken. We are starting to toy around on the high ground of Aster's base. As Aster to find a target mid. TP from Weeha is coming through. Misery will turn, get some treants out of there, but he does fall. The Magnetizing the Life Drain enough to finish him off, but Mushi's got to be careful. He's backing away, but Boka will roll forward in an attempt to hold Weeha back from the Pugna. Now we'll allow the space for Weehart to get out, but those are for to get out. And indeed, HFN, he's on top of Mushi. Mushi has got the self-decrepify, but one more hit from HFN will do it as the decrepify ends. They get a big kill there for HFN, and now they'll look towards the bear as well. Tavo and Weehart on top of it. Easy 300 gold for them. And HFN, he wasn't even quite done in the middle lane. He also finishes off Baboka.
That was so, he just like ran away from the fight, got full health, found a DD bottom, and then just gets a full wrap around.
And those kills as well. Look, he just had a Yasha. Now he's a couple of 100 gold away from having a full defusal on this Slark. He is going to be an absolute nightmare to deal with.
Yeah, and that looked like a pretty cool move from Aster, right? The way they smoked all the way across the map to try to find HFN, but then as soon as they don't find him, they're like kind of running around kind of lost. They find a support, which is cool, but that's not the target they're looking for when they're that team. They need to get the core there.
And they've got to do something as a team now, Aster. They try and jump forward onto HFN. Immediate reaction there with a Shadow Dance. He plays it safe, gets out. That's the Diffusal Blade done, 17 minutes in. They've got the Radiance now on Sylar. Okay. So this is what you say they were waiting for. This is the point where we have to see Aster at least try and take the initiative themselves and go for some sort of play. HFN on the low ground, they didn't quite see him though, just outside of vision. Would have been a sweet catch to find, but they didn't see him quite in the location. He got a full mech now completed for Weeha, just making sure these guys everything to keep the team alive. He's going for those Greaves, of course, just a recipe away from having that. So once the Greaves are there, as well as the Pipe of Insight, suddenly saw this magical damage, this burst from the Pugner and the Earth Spirit. It's going to be entirely negated, and all of damage relies on sort of the Sven and the Lone Druid to find an opportunity to jump in. XXS
Disruptor
has got the bling. He's going to look towards him. They will kill him. He nearly gets to walk away.
I think they go high ground. I think you threaten high ground, Aster.
You've got to try and pull Chaos back, because that's what
they're
sort
actually
of
reacting. Instead of trying to force them back.
Let's see if they can even hold the tier 2 top. They come in on top lane. Weeha not really got too much to be scared about. He knows that as well. He's hanging around just outside the nose of Sylar. HFN tries to go for Mushi. Mushi actually turns with the life drain. He has Baboka here as well. They get the silence on top of HFN. They do have the Will-O-Wisp. He does not have Shadow Dance available. He does now. He's back up. Just in time and available to allow him to bounce up to the high ground, get away from the Will-O-Wisp. Aster unable to find any sort of action. In fact, they might get themselves caught in a bit of action that Chaos want to find, as the TP in from Misery grants the vision onto XXS, allowing them to drag him back with the glimpse into the Static Storm. Chaos continuing to outplay Aster.
That's the risk that happens, right? When you start TPing 2 heroes away and the other heroes don't have TP, and Chaos identifies that, they're gonna surround you. They're gonna chase you.
And they've got so much chase as well, as we saw. Just giving the vision for these glimpses. They're very hard fights to run away from. Weeha, he's ready to try and dive behind the tier 2 tower. HFN's there with the wraparound, again being able to peel Sylar away from the rest of his team, as he needs help and he needs it now. Fenrir's coming across, TP's out coming into the tier 2 tower. He's pretty tanky on the Lone Druid. Will survive for now as he gets himself back out of there. And Chaos, they will respect these mass TPs coming in from Aster. They know the Sven's back up in 5 seconds. They're not going to mess around with them anymore.
Yeah, go back to farm those side lanes, right? You've already just like screwed up Aster's plan that they wanted to do there. I really do think Aster could have, they ideally wanted to try to force something there, force a reaction when they were all of them grouped up bottom with this timing window that they just got, as we were mentioning. But no, they back up and they lose quite a bit.
I do indeed.
Smoke again.
Big items as well being picked up by Chaos. They had the Spirit Vessel on Tavo. And Misery, I believe, yeah, pretty much the full Vlad's done. So these extra auras, these extra abilities to keep this Lark safe. Jump forward. They do manage to catch out the clock. Tavo, he's going to try for the hook shot. Will be able to make it over to the neutrals, and with the instant TP out, he's going to make it away. Tavo just escapes underneath the noses of the full 5-man lineup of Aster. He's back to base. He's back to safety.
Very nicely done. And look at Misery, what he's doing right now. He's catching the creep wave, actually, with the Treant. He's pulling the whole mid wave.
Oh no, where's the push then?
Do they have creep still?
Do they have anything?
They still have one range creep.
He's ready to go. He's ready to remove that backdoor protection.
So they've got the lanes in better position this time, and now they're just going to force it. So I thought this is what they were going to do bottom, but now lane's better spot. They're trying really hard here to go forward here for the Rax.
I mean, Weeha's going to be quite a hard sort of frontline force to break through, with the Greaves complete on top of the pipe.
The Treant died though, so the creep reinforcement does come in. So backdoor isn't enabled. But Sylar's Bear has dropped a little bit low.
They're scared to go high ground unless they can find some sort of jump, some sort of kill. They're trying to lead in onto the live with the life drain onto Weeha. It's hard to melt through this Timbersaw. Top lane now, reaction will come out as HFN was pushing onto the tier 2.
Now they know.
TP back, they're going to head in straight away, looking for some action onto Sylar. The bear trapped up by the Cog. The Will-O-Wisp is down, onto 4 of them. XXS moving in with the Godstrike, trying to come through Weehart, but he has to turn for an easier target. Looks towards Misery, but he's not even going to get him as HFN's there with the backup. Jumps in onto XXS. XXS cut down. Weehart's going to move in towards Fenrir in the trees. Chakram out upon him. Cole trying to escape, but Boka as well. The 2 supports ripped apart. As Earth Spirit dies, Weehart continue to follow, allowing them the vision to bring back Sylar with the glimpse. He's stuck in the kinetic field. Weehart continues to chase for the easier kills. Looks for Fenrir. The vision's there for the Nature's Wrath to bounce through. Kill off a 3rd. HFN, can he get the pounce onto Sylar? Yes, he can. Locks him down with the root. They're a little low on Chaos. They have to be careful about how they poke on Sylar. Weehart, though, he's full health and he's ready to jump straight in. It's getting rooted up, but they're on top of him once more. HFN jumps forward onto Sylar. That's 4 dying on Aster. Nobody falls on Chaos. And it's beginning to just feel like a bit of a repeat of game 1.
Absolutely.
Aster, they know how to farm, they know how to get these items, but then it seems like they just don't know what to do after that. In Chaos, they've got all the answers. They're playing perfect.
Yeah, they seem so disconnected, right? It seemed like some people wanted to stay, some people wanted to go. They end up canceling their TPs, but Chaos is like, we got them with their pants on. They don't want to try to take this fight. Even though the Will-O-Wisp cast is on 3, I think the Magnetize hit 3 as well. It looked pretty okay, but no, Chaos just are able to weave in and out of the fights constantly with this Slark and pick up those stacks. And now, I would think it would be Aster getting the Rosh, but now with Chaos getting a Rosh on this lineup, with the Slark, who is already 403, 191 last hits, I am, super concerned for Aster now.
Absolutely. I don't know what Aster do in a situation like this. Sure, they're only 3K behind, but it's just the fact that they've just not been able to get anything going in their favor.
No, and they were losing fights when they were 3K ahead. And also 3K experience ahead. Now it's an 8K experience lead for Chaos.
So top tier 2. It's going to be pressured by Chaos. Straight up to there, we'll be able to easily take this objective. Full BKB on the way up for HFN as well. Of course, that Aegis he's holding on to.
They don't have a bear right now for 15 seconds, because that was the resummon in that last fight. So comes forward.
Tavo, he's going to lead straight in. Does get silenced and stunned by the Sven. Static Storm's going to be dropped down, and King RD to try and help Tavo out, get in the space to escape. Does continue to get dragged in by the Will-O-Wisp, but XXS just doesn't have the damage to go for it. Pounce 4 from HFN, holding down the Sven. XXS tried to turn, but the BKB comes out from HFN. He hits forward onto XXS. The Sven dead for 45 seconds, and the rest of Aster having to run back to the high ground. Back into the base. Space is there for Chaos to finish the tier 2 tower mid. And again, objectives continuing to easily fall to the hands and the push of Chaos. And Aster struggling to do much at all about every single move that Chaos makes. It just seems to be a move ahead of them.
I know this has become like more of the staple Timbersaw build, especially with what Weehart doing it, but I absolutely love this build. The Greaves pipe
just
build.
Just unkillable.
Yeah, the pipe in the early game made such a big difference when they were making these plays to make space for HFN. Now the Greaves time after time, he's just like dropping low and the regen kicks in. It just seems so damn useful for his team. And on the opposing side, who's actually that carrier? They don't have that.
They don't.
They have
Who's going to build any sort of
They have a Vlad's. It's the Sven with the Vlad's, and that's about it. On the other side, it's Chaos with a lot more advantage than that.
Oh, they do burst. Okay. HFN did get a little greedy. Was looking for the courier there. That's the Aegis gone. Can they kill him a second time? They'll get the roll onto him straight away. They are being able to chain stun him up. Hookshot comes in from Tava. That's going to buy the chance for HFN to pop the Shadow Dance and get out of there. He'll pounce away. He'll be able to survive. He'll be bailed out this time by his teammates, as Aster can't quite hold him down a second time.
He wants to go back in.
He's still actually watching from the side. He's seeing if there's a target and he'll find it, and Baboka jumps forward, committing with the BKB. Baboka will fall. Chaos, they're ready to go for more. Glimpse back onto Sylar. He's trapped in the Static Storm. HFN turns his attention towards the Lone Druid as Sylar cannot escape. The Pounce holding him in place. The Lone Druid will fall 2 dead on Aster, as Weehart toys with them. Incredibly low HP on the Timber, but he knows that he just can't die at this point. There's a full S&Y coming out to HFN. They're onto the high ground. The tier 3 starting to fall, and it feels like Aster's already left the game.
Yeah, it's really starting to feel like that. I mean, Chaos is actually taking these fights really well. Yep. They're playing the fights incredibly nice. The way HFN reset there, hides behind the tree, Tavo even with the little save, every tiny little thing coming into play.
Tavo's just straight in. He's able to trap up XXS, push Mushi back into the hands of HFN and Weehart. Mushi bursts down, no buyback available on the Pugner.
Misery picks up a Meteor Hammer when he goes back to base, drops it down. Looks like that rack should be complete, as HFN also has 18 stacks plus 10 permanent, so quite a lot of agi for him to continue that siege. And look at that. You have a Nature's Prophet on your team, all the side lanes are pushed, you can continue. And like you said, Feels like Aster's out of it.
Really, really does. It's going to have to be back to the drawing board, it feels, for Aster. In terms of their drafts and play, it just hasn't been enough to cut it. In Chaos, what a day for them. They have brought some beautiful Dota, some fantastic drafts and play, bringing the Slark back in, and it looks hot as ever from HFN.
None of their cores have died so far on the side of Chaos.
I don't think they will this game.
The Clockwork at 309, Slark 605, Timbersoft 409. Just great plays from the three. I mean, the support play has been great. They've died a couple times, and that's been kind of like their job, Misery, putting down these like, deep wards when he's been TPing in and dying. But yeah, the 3 cores on the side of Chaos have been playing phenomenal. Just like the weave in and out of the fights, the resets have been, yeah, just great to watch. And Aster just, again, felt like they had a game plan. Things just completely crumbled again, just like the last game.
Yeah, it just feels like an incredibly disjointed team.
Yeah.
It
seemed like they had a
lead, two sets of racks.
They seemed like they had a timing too. That they got all the things together, and then Chaos was doing good split push. Yeah, Aster had to respond.
Oh, look at the bear outside of the base. That's another 300 gold going the way of Tabo. HFN already jumping in, looking towards XXS. XXS has to run his way back to base. Fenrir will be left behind.
40 seconds, no bear. Instant smoke. They've got all 3 creep waves again pushing in.
Chaos. Misery. He knows he can just do this. What are they going to do to stop it? They're going to try. They lead in with the stun onto Misery, but Misery forced away. More than fine. The racks will be kept alive for now. Life Drain's going to be there in an attempt to keep Baboka safe, but again, the glimpse from King RD bringing Baboka into position where his team can no longer save him.
Look at they don't take damage because of this pipe. It's just the itemization, the pipe plus the Guardian Greaves. Even though there is that lots of magic damage that could be coming out, it's just all negated. And another X.
Absolutely ideal from Weeha. As Chaos just looking brilliant today in this first day of ESL One Katowice.
So they want Misery pretty bad, but Misery's
away. Just coming straight in. HFN as well, ready to jump forward. That's Mushi dead inside the Static Storm. No buyback on the Pugner. Again, with these glimpses, King RD pulling them apart. As GG is good. It's all over. It was over about 10 minutes ago. This series, 2-0 to Chaos Esports Club. And what a day for them as a whole, as this team has turned up. They're ready to play. There's always something about these boys at ESL events, and it looks like this one's not going to be any sort of exception. They turn up, and this series in particular, they just brought a level of Dota that Aster, they couldn't even see. They were so far behind.
No, I actually, the whole Timber thing and this distraction, they're just like, all right, you guys focus on our Timber, focus on our Timber, focus on our Furion. Slark's going to absolutely free farm the whole game. And it was just weird, because Aster also at one moment, they're all jungling. And they're like waiting I understand they're waiting for item timings, but they can't have 3 cores jungling it, nobody trying to make the plays. They have to be playing active in this game, trying to set stuff up. And they just fell behind to the point where Chaos, they had all 3 lanes pushing in constantly. And Aster, they had that one momentum bottom that they had going, and they TP'd and backed up and lost 4 heroes because of it.
I mean, Aster, there's some big names on this lineup, but those big names just didn't feel like they showed up today at all, either sort of individually or as a team. I mean, what's the problem with the guys today, do you think?
I'm not sure, but they have a lot to work on. It looks like communication wasn't really there. Their drafts were a little weird, but it just seems they seem really disconnected overall in the game.
Yeah, they've got to really rethink sort of their approach to the game. And for Chaos Esports Club, the way that they came in with this approach today, both games with the draft and with the ideas, we are having these core heroes that just seem to be dominant. It seemed so easy for them this series.
Yeah, I mean, this one looked good. They busted out a core Clockwork. None of their cores actually died, and it seemed like after like the early game, they had kind of clear showing of what they to do.
Core Clock, Core Slark, Chaos Esports just showing that they can still bring stuff to the meta that not a lot of teams are going to be confident enough to do so, and they do it with a lot of dominance and a lot of strength as they take this series 2-0. Back to you, Paul.
Thanks very much, gents. Great commentary as ever from Odie Pixel and from Fogged. We're going to break down the end of our final series and also bring you right up to date with the results that have happened in both groups A and B. They've both played 2 rounds today, although Group B are still ongoing in the other 2 matches. Just a quick update for you in that game. Ninjas in Pyjamas some 15k ahead of Complexity and a game up in that one. And Fnatic also a game up and ahead in the other game against Alliance, up by 16k gold in that one. Both of those are still alive. We're going to wrap things up, gents. We've got Blitz and we've got Purge back on the panel. I'm so disappointed in a way for Aster, but also with Aster as well. this is a really good team, Kevin. This is good players. These are players that have had moments of greatness in their career as well, some would say. It is not working at all for them right now, whether that's due to composition, communication, whether it's confidence, whether it's lack of confidence, whatever it might be, it isn't working.
Yeah, they're definitely losing. But what's important, I think, is that on the other hand, Chaos is looking really good, I think. And I think they're out-drafting them, and they're being more flexible. They have more... Like, I don't really see Aster as a team where they're like swing out some 5th pick and like change the game. They're never going to do that. They're going to play like semi-standard. They're going to pick stuff that's supposedly good. They pick Sven. Sven's garbage. It's not great. It's okay, but it's not like an amazing hero. And they just got super outmaneuvered between like Clockwork and Disruptor. Like, Chaos could just, like, spread them out, wait for the right moment, glimpse people back. It just forced Aster to play a really weird game. And they had a lone Druid against all these dive heroes, which wasn't going to be great either.
Yeah, sure. Will, what are your feelings on this?
I agree that I thought Chaos looked really good today, and I think they do step up when it comes to ESLs. And I do want to compliment the team that plays well, because teams like Chaos, you know, they play well on this stage, but at the same time, with Aster, I agree. I'm personally disappointed because... especially with the way that they looked at ESL Hamburg, I felt like they were just going to continue to roll onto that success. They ran into their first speed bump, they kicked D-Stones, then they kicked their former mid 2, I can't remember his name, Love Me, and then they pick up Mushi, but it doesn't really seem to have worked. Their play, for the most part, doesn't really feel like it's very inspired. Like Alliance, even though they're a team that's losing, I feel like they're playing everything into the games. Like their game against NIP, yeah, they lost, but like you could see they were trying. Like they battled to the bitter end.
I mean, could you argue that the early game in this game, Aster had some opportunities in there? They were ahead at one point as well, and they pretty much won the early game. They just didn't win it hard enough, did they?
Yeah, and more importantly, I felt like they just didn't really know what moves to make. And that's what I meant by I don't feel like they're very inspired. Normally in Dota, there's like a progression system where everyone's communicating, okay, we need to do this, we need to do this. At some point, I felt like Aster was just like, well, what do we do? No one's really taking that responsibility and that leadership, or maybe too many people are. No. I'm not sure, but you just don't really see that discipline in game.
I mean, it's great that you picked that up, because actually on the flip side of it, that's exactly what Chaos have got right now. They look more organised, if anything, now, and more structured now. I know T Governor said that's one of the things that he wants to bring to the team, and it's also one of the things that Misery's been trying to bring to the team over the last 8-9 months since he's playing with them as well. It does seem to be paying off.
Oh yeah, for sure. You can see it in both these games. They just whomped them. There was no shadow of a doubt. Even when they were up 2K on the side of Team Aster, I was like, game's over. DC's won. I take a look. I see the screen. They have complete map control. Even though they're behind, they don't really care. Because they know, okay, our lineup's going to peak at the right...
That's a massive difference, though, Will. From 12 months ago, when this team was playing gaming, and they had a team that could play in the first 20 minutes against any team in the world. They literally could go head-to-head. After 20 minutes, they weren't quite sure what they were supposed to do anymore. And they lost a lot of games on that basis. If they were behind at 20 minutes, they were all over the place. They were literally chucking their items down because they didn't know how to come back from that. Now they look a much calmer team.
Yeah. For me, they've always reminded me of VP Light, which is a team that you get into the laning phase, and if you look good, you roll. Because that's what they do with their constant aggression. That's what aggression affords you. If you're ahead, you turn those margins into these miles. And, for a team like Pain, I felt like today they got behind 2K. It wasn't going exactly to plan, but like you said, their ability to recover.
Though.
Exactly.
No panic this time.
And that's what Aster doesn't have.
Or they have a new player in the game who's known for strategy, who's taken teams to second place at TI. So I think Misery is the main reason that you're seeing that difference, where they do have late game plans, because they know what their lineups can do. They know when their lineups will win, and therefore they aren't just trying to like overwhelm their opponents and win the way they can.
All right, well, let's talk to the main man himself, because he's with Shiva right now.
I'm here with Misery of Chaos. Congratulations, 4-0 today. Great first day. How did it go from your perspective? How did you feel your team was in these matches, and just overall your impressions?
I mean, I'm pretty happy because we played really bad yesterday when we were scrimming, and generally we haven't practiced at all. Like, we just came together just yesterday, and I didn't really know what to expect. But we had a long talk yesterday, so we kind of got on the same page at least. But I'm really happy. Like, everybody seemed like they're very motivated to win, so that's good. Yeah,
it looked like it all gelled. So the fact that you haven't scrimmed didn't show, at least from my perspective, didn't show. You also have T Governor with you. We talked to him before the match, and he boldly said we're gonna 4-0 today. So he was very confident. I heard you picked him up in a pub.
I guess. I mean, we played a few pubs together randomly, and then he added me, and then we spoke a bit. That's pretty much how we got to know each other. So yeah.
And he's been working out because this is the second tournament with him, with you guys.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he joined us at the major, last major, Chinese major. I'm afraid to say the word because I might make a mistake that'll ruin my career. But no, yeah, we have had him. This is our second tournament, and we joined Chaos as well, and they've helped us structure together with him. So we have gotten more professional, I think, than perhaps previously. So I think it's just the beginning for us to become better.
All right, I got one question about the games, the last set of games actually, because you had a Meepo last pick in the first game, and you had a Slark last pick in the second game, and I'm just curious, is it like you asking at that point, HFN, what do you want to play, and they say Meepo, 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 or rather Slark, Slark, Slark? Like, how does that come to life?
I think it's a bit of both. I mean, we spoke definitely about Meepo yesterday when we were talking. The Slark was just kind of like, I kind of like Slark. And then I asked HFN, what do you think? And he's like, yeah, okay, sure, let's go. And as for the Meepo, like everybody just likes the idea of picking Meepo, right? So we just went with it.
Yep, you did it at the same time also as Abed played his Meepo game, and both of you were victorious. So, but yeah, no, congratulations. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys play tomorrow. I'm going to let you go because it has been a long day for you, and we'll see you back tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you too. Back to you, Paul.
Thank you very much, Shiva. Thanks to Misery as well. Great day for him and the boys there. I mean, it's interesting, isn't it? They have a particularly good set of scrims yesterday when they arrived here, and they can turn it around and win 4 games.
Yeah, but it was the keyword that I heard that you had brought up beforehand, motivation. These guys look motivated to play, and that was what we felt like Team Aster was lacking. And it was so cool that he said that. He's like, everybody wanted to win. They're hungry to win. They're motivated. That's what you need for a tournament like this.
Yeah, absolutely. And they seem to have an affinity with ESL ones. I mean, the great run at Birmingham last year as well.
They did. It might happen again.
Yeah.
I mean, this is already a great start. They've got to play, what, 3 more matches?
Sure.
So
is there a little sense of getting carried away, though, a little bit too much, Kevin? Because arguably they've played the weakest 2 teams in the group.
I mean, they got to play NIP, Alliance, and Fnatic still. So yes, those 3 are definitely pretty solid, arguably the 3 stronger. But I mean, making sure that you get 2-0s against the worst teams, that's already a great place because there's such a good chance of upsets that could happen later where some mediocre team or some good team could drop a game randomly due to outdraft. So
it also
they got to be happy.
They're guaranteed that they won't finish in 5th and 6th because head-to-head now they beat both the 2 teams if they finish below them. So almost impossible for them to finish outside the top 4. So that's a great start, isn't it? Because you've already got that mental thing. Don't have to worry about fighting for relegation here. We're going to make it through.
Yeah, that's good. They'll have more time to practice as well. I don't know if teams ever end up scrimming in the nights between or anything like that, but they'll definitely be a team to worry about, and their drafts are not too one-dimensional, so they've got to feel confident going forward. Yeah,
they have some good duping of the drafts, that's for sure, especially in Game 1. That Meepo was definitely well covered by the end. But let's take a look at Group A for you, because we've had a number of games throughout the day, and as you can see on your screen right now, some matches that were very interesting. Early on, of course, we had OG versus Secret. It turned out to be a pretty spectacular series in the end. We weren't always convinced that it was going to be the case, but it did go down a 1-1. OG taking the first game in that one. Also, we had Gambit a little bit early on as well. Group A right now. There we go. That's better. That's what we wanted to see. It's a bit weird, gents, because we've got 3 teams who are 3-1 at the start of the day, and that's tight, isn't it? I think this group might end up remaining quite tight for the remaining 2 days.
We'll see. I mean, Gambit played against maybe 2 of the weaker teams in the group, so maybe they'll end up dropping some later.
And they have Secret on their last game, by the way, as well.
Yeah, they got to play Secret and OG and Mineski. Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see.
Could be fun.
It could go lots of ways.
Yeah. Let's take a look at Group B as well for you and show you where Group B is right now. This one's a little bit more decisive, I have to say. Some big results in here. Fnatic. 4-0 right now, as well as Chaos. Ninja Pajamas are also about to go 4-0 as well.
Which team is
Ref would be Aster.
I'm upset.
No, it's not Aster.
No, it's who is it that NIP played? Alliance.
It is Alliance.
Okay, there we go.
Apologies for the graphical error, but that is Alliance.
It's fine. They got 0 points.
In 4th right now. Yeah, it's been a tough day. When you look at that second group. 2-0 NIP versus Alliance, 2-0 for Fnatic against Aster, 2-0 for Chaos against Complexity, 2-0 for Chaos against Aster, and 2-0 for Fnatic against Alliance. And pretty much, I know it's still going on, but NIP are well ahead right now against Complexity, and that looks like being 2-0. That's unbelievable. That doesn't happen normally in these 2-match series.
No, and I think it's just a product of the patch. Genuinely, it's who came in with the best ideas. the patch hit like what, 2 days ago?
Yeah.
So you don't really have the most amount of time to scrim.
I mean, it wasn't the biggest of patches though, Will.
I think in some ways it was. Like, you saw new heroes being incorporated, like Storm, for example. We saw that hero win 2 games, I think, today. Almost win a game with Alliance. So there's potential for new different things and new different elements. So I felt like whoever adapts fastest in metas like this is always going to be successful. And it's the captains, I feel, that have the most experience so far that have been the most successful. You have your PPDs, your puppies, your miseries. The guys who have been here before have had a mid-patch tournaments, no problem.
Right. So what happened to Aster then?
Oh, Aster, I have no idea.
All right, well, thank you very much. Let's move on quickly before we get ourselves into any trouble. Thanks to Purge and to Blitz, of course, and as all of our panel members and our commentary team, as well as Shiva today for all of their hard work on our opening day here at ESL One Katowice. But that is it. Our first day is in the history books. Quick reminder for you at home as well, though, the MVP vote will be open this evening. Our MVP by Mercedes-Benz, supported by Mercedes-Benz once more, will be open after the final game finishes this evening. So wait for the NIP Complexity game, which I reckon is probably about due to finish very shortly. And then the MVP by Mercedes-Benz will be open for you to take part and make your choices as to who you've thought is the MVP. That's it for day number 1. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow for more from ESL One Katowice 2019.